Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the NUS Undergraduate Admissions Sharing Webinar. I'm Yuejia and I will be your MC for today. Thank you for taking time to join us. The sharing you will hear this afternoon will be presented by the Vice Dean of Admissions, Associate Professor Terence Sim. After his presentation, there will be a Q&A segment with Prof. Sim and two NUS students. If you have any questions, we greatly appreciate if you could please write them down in the Q&A tab below, and we will answer them towards the end of this webinar. Thank you for your patience. Professor Terence Sim is the Vice Dean of Admissions and an Associate Professor at the School of Computing, National University of Singapore, NUS. He's also a Principal Investigator at NUS Central for Trusted Internet and Community, CTIC. As a computer scientist, Prof. Sim conducts research in biometrics, computer vision, and their privacy implications. Prof. Sim is often quoted by the press for his research expertise. He received his bachelor's degree from MIT in 1990, master's degree from Stanford in 1991, and PhD degree from Carnegie Mellon University in 2002. As a Singaporean, he hopes to inspire more locals to pursue research and development careers. Now let's begin the session. Prof. Sim will share about the hallmarks of the NUS experience, important considerations when selecting your course of studies, global opportunities, as well as the process and timeline of admissions application. Prof. Sim, please.
Thank you, Yuejia. Thank you for that kind introduction. Good afternoon, good morning, everyone, wherever you are. Most of you are coming from Singapore, but I know quite a number also joining us internationally from all parts of the world. So welcome to this session where I'm happy to share with you the exciting things that NUS has to offer. So let me quickly share my screen. Okay. Uh, let's begin, shall we? Um, Let me begin with this general overview of NUS. Okay, so NUS, we started in 1905 and we are Singapore's first and largest university. Okay, so if you do the math, this year we are 120 years old. Okay, so there's big celebrations being planned. So if you come on down to campus, you find a lot of things that are happening. Okay. Now, because we are the oldest university, we have trained generations of architects, doctors, engineers, politicians, you name it. Okay. And many of them have gone on to lead Singapore to make a name for themselves. And our research is also changing lives. You can see some of that on the screen. Okay. And we are just getting started. Okay. In terms of some general overall stats for you, these are numbers, can be quite overwhelming to digest, but let me call attention to the two numbers in yellow. Okay, so on the left, you see we have attained first rank in Asia and eighth in the world. And this is something that we are very proud of. We've maintained this position for the last few years, and we hope to maintain this for as long as possible. Okay, that means our brand is recognized. Okay, our brand is also recognized if you look at the number on the right, the yellow number on the right, top 10 for global employability. What this means is that an NUS degree will be recognized all over the world. Okay, employers know us, not just in Singapore, but all over the world, in Europe, in the US, everywhere, and of course in Asia as well. In fact, our alum, many of them have gone on to the major cities all over the world, have lived there and worked there, and you can connect with them if you happen to be there. Okay, so NUS has a wide reach. Okay, not only that, if you look at 19 subjects listed here, in these 19 subjects, we are among the global top 10. Okay, so take a quick look at this list, and you might see something that you aspire to study, right? Can you see that? Anyone, anyone doing electronic engineering? Yeah. Raise your hand, although I cannot see you, but we are ranked number 6 for that. Uh, yes, thank you. I see someone raising their hand. Anybody aspiring to do business management studies? You are number 10. We are number 10. Uh, Computer science, very popular. Okay, we are number 6, and so on, right? So we're highly ranked not just as a university, but for specific disciplines, as you can see here. Okay, And again, we hope to be in the top 10 for as long as possible. Now, if I may summarize your NUS education in one sentence, in one slide, this would be it. Your NUS education is customizable, challenging, and contemporary. Okay? In other words, you should take charge of your educational journey. Okay? I cannot emphasize this enough because university is very different from your high school. Okay, I know the majority are doing A levels here, but there are IB people here, people in with other qualifications. In high school, more or less your curriculum is prescribed and it's fixed. Yes, you might have some electives here and there, but it's pretty much cookie cutter, so to speak, right? But in NUS, no two students have the same timetable. Let me repeat that. No two students have the same timetable. Everyone charts his or her own path through the 4 years in NUS. Okay, so therefore, you should take charge of your educational journey in order to get the most out of it. Okay, you might find that to be exciting and daunting at the same time, but you have seniors, you have academic counselors that will help you. Okay, so very quickly, let's move into academics. Okay, so by way of introduction, let me tell you about the NUS academic calendar. We have two main semesters in the year. Semester one begins in mid-August, right after the Singapore National Day. Okay, and that takes you, it's 18 weeks, and then we take a short break of 5 weeks around the Christmas period. We resume in early January for semester two, slightly shorter, about 17 weeks. Okay, and then we will end in early May. And then we have what is called the long vacation or the so-called summer vacation, which is about 3 months long. Okay, so that's our academic year. And during the long vacation, we do have mini semester, and there are a few courses are being offered for students. And if you want to do that, you can take up courses at that time as well. Let's move on to our degrees. Now, NUS is a comprehensive full spectrum university. We offer many, many degree programs. Okay, they are grouped into several big blocks here. So let me go through each block one at a time. On the left here, where my mouse is pointing, the major block here is the College of Humanities and Sciences. Okay, this is where you find your majors in arts and social sciences, whether it's anthropology, English language, Malay studies, Japanese studies, psychology, and so on. Okay, they're all here. Also, the traditional majors in science, chemistry, data science analytics, uh, biology is now called life sciences. We have mathematics, physics, and so on. Okay. Uh, at the bottom, we have a few cross-disciplinary programs such as data science and economics, PPE. All right. Now, coming to the middle block here, the next big block is the College of Design and Engineering. Okay, here you find majors in architecture, industrial design, as well as the many, many traditional engineering disciplines. Okay, chemical, civil, electrical, and so on. Okay. Um, and and then there's a new one called the robotics and machine intelligence, which I will cover shortly. Okay. Um, in the middle block here is the business school, the School of Business, which offers 9 majors: accountancy, applied business analytics, and so on, which you can read here. Okay. And we're very strong in the business disciplines as well. Uh, at the bottom of the middle column is School of Computing, where I'm also a professor at the School of Computing. And here we offer majors such as AI, which is new, and I'll give more information later, as well as the revamped Business AI Intelligence Systems. Okay, so I'll give you more information about that. And not to forget, we have our traditional uh, disciplines such as dentistry, law, medicine, music, nursing, pharmacy. Yes, we do have a school, a music school. Okay, that's very exciting for some of you. So overall, uh, we have over 60 majors, okay, spread over all these major colleges. Okay, and then there's something else called NUS College, which is an honors program that you can add on to any of your primary major here. Okay, so NUS College will enhance and give you more depth and rigor. Actually, is to give you more breadth and rigor. Sorry, breadth and rigor into your undergraduate training. All right. And if you attend throughout this coming week, there'll be talks by the various schools and faculties as well as by NUS College. Okay. Now, to give you a sense of how your degree is being structured, Okay. Overall, in most NUS majors, in most disciplines, you need 40 courses to graduate, 40 courses in total, divided into three baskets as shown here, color coded. Okay. So you spend most of your time, 15 to 20 courses in the first basket, which is your major requirements. This is where you will go in depth into your chosen major. And in the next slide, I'll give you a specific example. Okay. But 15 to 20 courses for your major. In the middle is the blue box called the common curriculum. This is where we need to train you for some breadth. Okay, you take about 10 to 15 courses in areas outside your major. Okay, in areas that will give you a more holistic education. And I'll give you some examples in the next slide. And finally, last but not least, in the bottom basket is the unrestricted electives. Okay, this is where you have between 5 to 15 courses where you can take anything that you like. Okay, as long as it's offered by NUS and as long as you fulfill the prerequisites, you can take something from outside your major, from a different faculty, from a completely different discipline as well. Okay, so here is a concrete example to so that you can better understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so suppose you want to major in food science and technology. Okay, and yes, we do have such a major. It is highly selective, only about maybe 190 to 100 students per year. So in the green box, the major requirements, these are the courses you'll be taking if you're in this program, right? Food quality assurance and control. Okay, introduction to human nutrition. Okay, the science and technology of foods, sensory and consumer science. Okay, post-harvest food processing. Okay, this is where you need to go in depth into this major. All right. And then in the blue box in the middle, that's your common curriculum. This is for training in breadth. This is where we have to hone your writing skills. Okay, we have to teach you something about AI, artificial intelligence, right? Even though you're not a computer science major, okay? But let's face it, AI is a tool these days. AI is a tool used by every discipline. So no matter what discipline, you will be taught some AI in order to use the tools, okay? So that you are equipped and so that you can be more productive and more valuable to your employer, okay? That's why we need to ground you, give you some background in AI as well. Okay, as well as digital literacy. Okay, it complements AI. Okay, but you will also learn design thinking, communities engagement, and so on. This is your broad-based training. Okay, and coming to the bottom, your unrestricted electives. I've picked two here, completely outside of food and science major, right? Forensic science. Okay, forensic science. That's very cool. Okay, if imagine you're part of the police force and there's a homicide or whatever, and then there's a crime scene, and you go there and you figure things out. Okay, or you are curious about pirates, oceans, and the maritime world. Okay, we have such a course as well. Okay, interesting, huh? So this is something where you can uh, follow your passion. Okay, if you have a hobby or an interest in that, use it. You can use the unrestricted electives to fulfill this. Okay. Now, because of this structure, there are multiple pathways for you to pursue. You could do a single major over the 4 years, right? So the first two columns here, you go into your single major. Okay. So you fulfill your university requirements, your college or faculty requirements. You spend some time in your major, and then you can either take up your unrestricted electives or use them to go deeper into your current major. Okay, so this is where, for those of you who really want to go deep, you can do so. Or you can use the unrestricted electives to do a second major, something outside of your field. Okay, and our student ambassadors that you get to meet with later, they have they one of them has a second major. Okay, something uh, complementing the primary major. Okay? And then you can also go for uh, a minor, okay, either one minor or two minors by playing around with your unrestricted electives. So this is, again, I go back to what I said earlier. Your education is customizable, right? You can see, you can choose from these different pathways as and when you decide. Okay, not to worry, you don't have to decide in your first year. In fact, you don't have to decide now either at the point of application, right? You don't have to do that. Okay, think about your primary major first, And then whether you want to do second major or do a minor, that you can decide after your first year or even your second year in NUS. Okay. Now you can obviously go beyond a single degree. Okay. I've talked about minors and double majors just now. You can also go for 2 degrees, 2 degrees, which is more intensive than 2 majors, right? Because you actually get a bachelor's in X and a bachelor's in Y for 2 degrees. Okay. It's therefore more intensive. So be prepared to work hard. Okay. But if you are a capable and ambitious student, this might be suitable for you. And then we have a few selected joint degree programs where we partner with, say, Waseda University in Japan, okay, or the Sciences Po University in France, okay. And this is where you spend 2 years here in NUS and 2 years in a foreign university, and then your degree will be jointly issued by both university. Okay. Or you want to go for a bachelor's and master's at the same time. That is what we call a concurrent degree, and that's possible as well. Okay. So all these are really your spot for choice. Okay. All right, that's what NUS has to offer uh, in broad terms. Okay. Now I'd like to share with you what's new that is up and coming. There'll be a couple of new developments. This is one of them. There'll be a new degree program called the Bachelor's of Engineering in Robotics and Machine Intelligence that you see here. This will be launched this year, AY 2025, starting in August, right? And the idea is to enable modern engineering graduates to cultivate a mindset for the industrial sector, okay? Robotics, machine intelligence, okay? So this is what you will learn if you choose this major. Robot engineering, okay? Applications of engineering principles to design, development, and creation of robots, okay? Robots need not look like a human these days. It could be a vehicle, okay, such as this driverless car, or it could be something else, okay? Uh, you will also learn about AI-enabled robotic systems, service robot, okay, and so on, right? So this is really cool if you're interested into robotics. This will be the engineering major for you. And what are your employment prospects? Well, we're looking at uh, data engineer, design engineer, process engineer, product engineer, research engineer. Okay, these are traditional engineering disciplines, but more and more in the industry, robotics is being used, and therefore we need to train our students to be prepared for that as well. Okay, so consider this if you like to pursue robotics. Okay, another new degree program this year will be the BCom, Bachelor of Computing in AI. In AI, this is a specialized degree in AI. Not to say that we never had this before. We've always had courses in AI, okay? But now it's been elevated into a full degree program. So it's more curated, more focused, okay? So this AI degree is actually forged from the current CS degree, which is still around, okay? If you're still interested in a broad-based computer science training, that program is still around. But if you want to go deep into AI, this is also possible now. Okay, so there is the AI foundation as well as some CS foundation. Okay, and you can take a quick look at the kind of courses that you take. There will be augmented math requirements and specialized AI modules for you. All right. Now, what kind of job roles are available for you? Okay, we are looking at roles such as AI scientist. Okay, machine learning model engineer, okay? People who look at perception and language or computer vision or speech processing, audio processing, right? Or even robotics engineer, okay? All these are possible, okay? Because this is where AI will be used as well, okay? Notice that this is different than robotics, right? Because robotics has to also do with the hardware, but AI can be applied even if there is no mechanical robot or things around, right? Okay. So if you're interested in this, do consider this degree program. Okay. Another thing that's new this year, or rather refreshed in this coming academic year, is the refresh of the BCom info systems into BCom business AI systems. Okay, it's rebranded, it's revamped with the business AI focus. And these are the job roles. Okay, so currently, job roles like software developer, business intelligence manager, This is what this degree program will prepare you for. Okay. But there's also new and emerging job roles. Okay. Not quite here today, but by the time you graduate, it'll be available. AI policy advisors, ethical AI consultant, okay, compliance officer, okay, because as you know, AI is getting popular, prevalent everywhere, uh, but AI can do harm as well as do good. Okay, so you need to talk about ethics, uh, policy, and compliance, and this is where there will be new skill sets required, and this new program will prepare you for that. Okay. Now, how does this position then? You might be confused, right? All these new things. Okay. So this is a quick chart comparing the business AI systems, which is offered by School of Computing, as well as the AI that I just mentioned, also offered by School of Computing. Okay. As well as the business analytics, another degree offered by School of Computing. Putting them side by side. Okay, this is how the three degree programs are positioned. Okay, the section at the top in the red box is highlights the difference. Okay, so the new business AI, you learn about AI governance and management. You learn about solutioning, okay, finding solutions for business problems, okay, using AI and machine learning. In the middle one, it's the CSAI, right? Where you go into the technical, okay, the nuts and bolts of creating the AI, creating the machine learning and the AI. Okay, on the right hand side, you're looking at business data analytics. Okay, so that's how they are positioned. Of course, they share a common foundation of computing as well, right? And how do all these programs fit together? Okay, so the first row we have the new business AI systems, which I just described, compared to Faculty of Science, the data science and analytics, compared to Business School Applied Business Analytics, and compared to the new robotics degree that I just mentioned. Okay, so we can compare them across several dimensions in terms of software engineering, robotics, data engineering, data science, AI, statistics and scientific domains, governance and management, right? So you can see that these four degree programs do overlap, but each is also unique and has its own strengths. Okay, so take a good look at this, and this may help you. Go ahead and take a screenshot if you like. This may help you differentiate and appreciate the difference between these four degree programs. Okay, in terms of what they are preparing you for, in terms of the emphasis given to these different dimensions. All right. Also new this year. Okay, again, you can see NUS is pushing AI quite a lot this year. We are unveiling a new AI talent scholarship. Okay, I mentioned three degree programs that are new. Now, this is a scholarship, especially for students in these fields, right? The three new AI programs, as well as uh, computer science. Okay, uh, okay, so if you are in these disciplines, you may qualify for the NUS AI Talent Scholarship, open to Singapore students. We provide you with tuition fee, living allowance, on-campus accommodation, travel grant, more importantly, mentorship, guidance by top AI researchers. Okay, opportunities to go abroad for training and so on. Okay, uh, and there's a special new college called Acacia College, headed by my colleague, uh, whose theme is on AI. Okay, so you will live and breathe AI literally. Okay, and if you take up this scholarship, how cool is that? Okay, all right, very quickly. Besides academics, what opportunities does NUS, I'm sorry, what opportunities does NUS offer? Because we are big and we are established, uh, you really have a lot of opportunities. For example, you can make the world your classroom. Okay, we have all kinds of exchange programs from your traditional one semester long exchange program. We can choose from over 300 partner universities in Europe, in Asia, in America. Okay, over 300. You have lots of choices. That's what being big in NUS means for you. You have a lot of choices. Okay, you want shorter summer and winter programs, which are typically about 1 month. Okay, you can do that. There are also attachments and short-term study trips as well available for you. So various ways to go abroad, um, to experience the world, to experience classroom outside of classroom, so to speak, right? Okay. Here's another cool thing that NUS started over 20 years ago, and now we've expanded to more than 25 locations all around the world. And this is the NUS Overseas Colleges. What is this? NUS Overseas Colleges is an overseas experience, but the primary focus is not academics, but rather the primary focus is entrepreneurship. Okay. You go to one of these places, say Silicon Valley here in the west coast of the USA, Silicon Valley, and you will join a startup. Okay. NUS has already partnered with a number of startup companies there. Go in, get plugged in, spend 6 months to a year living and working in a startup company. Okay. And then experience the startup culture. Okay. Uh, Same thing whether in UK or in Sweden. Okay. We have partners with ETH Zurich, for example, in Switzerland. We have partnered with schools in universities in Paris, London, in China as well. Okay. In all these places, you go to these cities primarily, again, primarily for entrepreneurship. You will join a startup, but then we partner with the schools there so that you can take evening classes if you like, right? So back to Silicon Valley, you want to take night courses with Stanford universities. How cool is that? How cool is that? Okay, in Beijing, you'll be taking classes with at Beida or Tsinghua. Okay, so we're partnering with these top tier universities in these various cities as well. Exciting opportunity if you are into entrepreneurship. And this has been running for over 20 years now, and students love it. And many of them come back and become founders of startup companies, and we have a couple of unicorns that have come out from there. Okay, now quickly moving on to campus life. NUS is a beautiful campus. Trust me. Okay, I've been to many universities around the world, and we do have a beautiful campus. Very well landscaped, lots of greenery, beautiful architecture. Okay, 4 campuses connected by NUS shuttle, which you can hop on and hop off. Okay, if you haven't come to our campus before, come visit. It's an open campus. In fact, come next Saturday, right? Because that's our open house. It'll be fun. There'll be 10,000 people coming in, right? So you have lots of fun then. But you can come anytime. It's an open campus. Okay. So on campus, we have many places. We need to feed you. Okay. We have at any one time 40,000 people, 30,000 students, about 10,000 staff. Okay. On campus. Okay, and we need to feed you lots of dining options, cafes, canteens, restaurants available. We feed your body, we feed your mind. We have 7 libraries scattered throughout campus. Some are specialized libraries like the law library, but there's also the general central library, which houses many books of many disciplines as well. Okay, and not to forget our digital library. Okay, we have a university health center right on campus. Okay, the main campus of Kent Ridge. There is a clinic there. So if you are not well, you can just walk in, and as a student, most of the time it's free for you or very, very low cost. You can get your basic medicines pretty much for free. And there's also X-ray facilities and all that that can do a first round of screening, okay, in case you're not well. And then further down the same stretch of road, we have the National University Hospital, which is for more acute care, right? So your health is taken care of. It's not just your physical health, but your mental well-being as well. There are counselors and psychiatrists in our health center as well. Okay. Another big plus of being in a big university like NUS is that you can always find somebody like you. Okay, like-minded peers. Okay, because we're so big, if you a loner, you prefer to study alone. Well, there are other loners around, right? But if you prefer to be in a big group, you prefer to your hobby is free diving. I met this student. She's into free diving, not driving, diving. What does that mean? Is that no scuba gear, nothing. Just hold your breath and dive deep, right? And she can go down to like 50 meters deep, that kind of thing, which is pretty mind blowing. And there are students who do that. Okay. So you can find over 200 student run sports group club societies that will cater to your taste. Okay. So we have groups that focus on arts, performing arts, music, and culture. We have interest groups that care about the environment and so on, right? Community service, giving back to society, okay, as well as groups that excel in sports, okay. You can find people of your own kind because we are so big, okay, and you can start your own if you don't find a club that meets your needs, okay. Also, when it comes to housing on campus, you have lots of choices. We have four, actually, four, although these three are only open for freshmen, but in your later years, a fourth type of housing type will be available for you. So we have six halls of residence, okay? Five residential colleges, which is a different way of living, as well as three houses. And later on, when we speak to our two student ambassadors, one is from a house, sorry, hall of resident, one is from residential college. So you can ask them what the difference is, right? But in a nutshell, all these housing types, they have different themes, different characters. Some have meal plans, some do not. Some have academic classes, some do not. So we really believe that there is something to suit everyone. Okay. Finally, now I'm going at a super high speed, but because there's so much to cover, right? And I want to leave time for conversation. I want to leave time for you to for you to ask your questions. So let's talk about the nitty-gritty, right? Money, application. Okay. Now, obviously, how do you finance all this? Well, first of all, scholarships. We do have these five NUS scholarships, right? The traditional ones, Global Merit Scholarship, the most prestigious. We also have the NUS Merit Scholarship. We have the Sports Scholarship and the Performing and Visual Arts Scholarship. And as I said before, this year we have the new NUS Talent Scholarship. Okay, so these are for high achievers. Okay, to qualify for this, to get this, you not only have to be good in your studies, you have to demonstrate leadership skills and you must excel in non-academics as well. Okay, so these scholarships are for Singapore citizens. Okay, international students, we haven't forgotten you. We have various scholarships for international students, such as the ASEAN Undergraduate Scholarship, the Science and Technologies Scholarship for international students outside of ASEAN, right? So, for example, for India, for China, okay? More broadly, other parts of the world, we have the NUS International Undergraduate Scholarship. You can find out more details at the later talk. We have a talk today at about 4:20 Singapore time later. My colleague, Prof. Go, will be talking more about scholarship and financial aid. So stay back for that. Okay. Um, and US fees, these are the latest tuition fees for this year, which will be locked in. Okay. Once you matriculate this year, these fees will be locked in for your duration for your duration in NUS. Okay. They will not go up for you. This will be locked in from the year you matriculate. Okay. So for Singapore citizens, these are the numbers you're looking at. You will be automatically given the MOE tuition grant, okay, and you do not have any bond requirement for Singapore citizens. It varies somewhat between business, computing, architecture, and so on, but this is the amount, annual amount that you're looking at, okay. The next column is for Singapore PR, okay. For international students, there are two columns, the rightmost two columns, with the tuition grant. International students, you can qualify for the tuition grant, and that reduces your fees from the full fees. If you do not get the tuition grant, then, for example, you'll be paying like 39K if you're looking at computing. With the tuition grant, it goes down to half. So that's a great deal. That's a huge subsidy from the tuition grant. And so, what is this tuition grant? Well, this tuition grant comes from MOE. Uh, So it will reduce what you have to pay, but in return, after you graduate, you need to work for a Singapore company for 3 years. Okay, that's the obligation. 3 years in any Singapore company, Singapore registered company, which can be based overseas, but as long as it's registered in Singapore. Okay, so that's scholarships. That's scholarships. Now we come to financial aid. Now we have a lot of financial aid, from bursaries and grants to subsidies and funds and loans. Okay, loans from NUS, loans from MOE, and commercial loans from banks. Okay, so we have a wide range to cover your needs. The only way to do justice is for you to speak to our financial aid officer, which can customize and tailor make a package tuned for you. Okay, but you can also go to this financial aid calculator that will give you a sense of what you qualify for given your income, your degree program, and so on. Okay, so use that to see what you qualify for. In particular, for needy Singaporean undergraduate students, we have something called the Enhanced Financial Aid. Okay, the Opportunities Enhancement Grant. Okay, this is for the neediest of Singapore students. Basically, think of it as skills future, right? We set aside 10K for you to be used anytime during your 4 years. You can use this anytime to go for overseas exchange, okay, or to live on campus, because all these things cost more than your usual tuition fees, right? And for the needy student, how are you going to pay for this? Well, you tap on this opportunity enhancement grant. So we want to make sure that needier students are not disadvantaged. Okay, we'll take care of you. Okay, in fact, for needy student, you pretty much, after all the financial aid, you can pretty much go to NUS without paying a cent. I kid you not. Okay, I kid you not. All right, so that's something that we work extra hard to provide for you. Okay, now let's switch gears to application, the nitty gritty. Okay, most of you in this audience would have just finished your A levels. Congratulations, um, and this will be the last cohort using the 90 rank points, right? Because as you know, from next year onwards, um, AY26 MOE is making a change from 90 to 70 rank points. Okay, so but this is the final year, and this is what you are used to: 3H2, 1H1, and so on. You can read the details here. Okay, um, and then you also need to know the subject prerequisites. So for example, if you want to apply for law, these are the subject prereqs. Okay, you need at least a B in GP or a good pass in H2KI and so on. Okay, and you be prepared to come for a selection test and an interview. Okay, however, for computer science, these are the requirements: mathematics and science, and there is no interview. Okay, so know your subject prereqs depending on what you want to choose for your major. Thirdly, check the indicative grade profile. I beg your pardon. Okay, this is last year's IGP. It's an indication of how students fared last year, not this year. This year we don't know yet, obviously. Okay, so uh, at the 10th percentile, okay, that means the lowest grade coming in for the law program is straight A's. Okay, that's the same for law, same for computer science. Okay, it shows you how competitive it is. Okay, uh, but for business, it'll be three A's and a C. Okay, now let me emphasize that this is not a guarantee. Okay, if you achieve these grades, it does not guarantee you a place. Okay, not at all. But this is just an indication of what happened last year. This year, these numbers can change. These grades can change. It fluctuates from year to year. Okay, but it tells you where you stand based on last year's profile. Okay, but not to worry. We have something called the aptitude-based admissions, which is holistic admissions. This is where we assess you holistically, especially if you are at the 10th percentile uh, mark. Okay, we will look at you beyond your grades. Okay, we look into things like your extracurricular involvement, your achievements uh, in sports, in arts, in community, in leadership positions. Okay, now you will have to fill out 5 short response questions. Okay, the font is very small, but you can go to our webpage and read ahead. Okay, 600 characters only. So, for example, the first one: tell us something you have done outside your school curriculum to prepare yourself for your chosen degree programs. 600 characters. It's about 120 words. So, short and sweet, tell us what you have done. We don't like long essays. Just answer to the point. Okay. So these are ways for you to tell us, showcase your aptitude, your passion, and your interest. This is especially useful for the ABA. Okay. But whether ABA or not, everybody has to fill out this section because we want to understand you holistically. Okay. So very quickly, this is the application checklist. Your dues, you must know this. Okay. This is a timeline. Okay. Um, as of today, 1st March, okay, the upcoming deadline will be 19 March. Okay, that's when the application closes for A levels. Okay, but this coming week, and into next Saturday, please come to our open house virtually for this week. The different faculties will be speaking in different days of the week, so please attend them. And then culminating in a physical open house next Saturday on site on our campus. So with that, I end my presentation here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Sim, for your sharing. We will now move on to the Q&A segment. We have especially invited two NUS students, Owen and Tia, to share with us today. Owen is a third-year student majoring in pharmaceutical science from the College of Humanities and Sciences, Faculty of Science. As a recipient of the NUS Merit Scholarship, Owen is deeply engaged in both academic and extracurricular pursuits. He's an active NUS student ambassador and a member of the NUS Judo. He also served as an orientation group leader in the pharmacy orientation camp. An advocate in hostel experiences, Owen took part in various co-curricular activities as a resident of Yusof Hall, ranging from volunteering at Mines, participating in Yusof Hall's dance production, and playing volleyballs. He's confident that hostel stays would greatly enrich his collegial experiences. Tia is a second-year student, majoring in Industrial and Systems Engineering with a second major in Management from the College of Design and Engineering. Last year, Tia served as the Vice President of the NUS Electrical and Computer Engineering Club, where she engaged with companies and industry professionals for collaborations while leading a team of more than 20 students. Currently, Tia serves as the Deputy Director of Mentorship at NUS Women in Business, a business club where she facilitates the organization's flagship mentorship program, consisting of 200 plus mentors and mentees. Tia also currently resides on campus at Lighthouse, where she has been a floor head as well as a coaching buddy. She also serves as an active NUS student ambassador and regularly partakes in Jay's dance productions in her free time. On top of juggling schoolwork and extracurricular activities, Tia believes in getting a career head start by sourcing for internships during her term break. Last year, she spent her summer as a process automation intern at Siemens. Additionally, in her roles as an associate consultant at Global Research and Consulting Group last semester, and as a project analyst at 180 Degrees Consulting this semester, Tias is passionate and well-versed in the field of strategy consulting. In these roles, she works with a team of NUS students to provide pro bono consulting to non-profit organizations and social enterprises. I will now hand the time over to Prof. Sim, who will be moderating the Q&A segment with Owen and Tia. Prof. Sim, please.
Thank you, Yuejia. And wow, welcome, Owen and Tia. So glad you can join us. Both of you are very, very accomplished students, right? I was just listening to Yuejia. Owen, it looks like you can fight judo, okay? You can dance and you can play sports, volleyball. Fantastic, right? And Tia, you are a star as well, right? You can organize business clubs, right? You can dance, and then you can provide consulting, right? So very, very accomplished students. So, ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause, right? Okay, we'll just have a quick chat with you. So, both of you, I noticed something common that you have. Both of you dance. So tell me about that, please.
Hi everybody, my name is Owen. So actually I don't have any previous dancing backgrounds. I'm more of a sports person. And it's only when I entered Yusof Hall that I decided to venture out because they really provide you a large variety of CCAs that you can try. And for hostel stays like hall, you tend to need to have certain amount of CCA points for you to continue your stay like into the second year and third year onwards. So I decided to venture out and try out dance, and they are very accepting to beginners as well as volunteering at Minds, which to me is quite fulfilling as you get to interact more with people with intellectual disability and actually make their life more fulfilling by creating activities for them. Yeah.
Great, thank you. So I was wondering whether your dance move, because you do volleyball, a lot of this action, is your dance move like that too? I'm just kidding.
Not really. I ended up joining the contemporary genre, which is like quite slow movement, a lot of feelings.
Oh.
Like usually
Oh,
when
such
we
a
are,
big change. Yeah.
yeah, we're acting more of like a crying but sad part.
Yeah.
So
Volleyball is an explosive sport, right? High
yes,
speed, right? So
yes.
this is more, it calms you down, right?
Mm.
Cool, cool. Tia, how about your dance? Tell us.
Thank you, Prof. Sim. Good afternoon, everyone. So yeah, to answer the dance question, like Owen said, I think NUS offers a wide variety of dance. So the kind of dance that I do is jazz and
Mm,
street jazz. So last semester, I took part in a production where we practiced our jazz dance for over 2 months and then performed on stage in October. And I think it's very flexible in the sense that you can take part whenever you have the time as well. So this semester I couldn't take part in dance because of other extracurricular activities, but I'm still going down to support my dance friends in a production next week and still be part of the dance community. So I
Oh,
think
next week.
it's
Wow,
yeah,
okay.
so I think it's very flexible as well as you can try out a lot of different styles, like Owen said. Yeah.
How is jazz different? Is it fast moving or slow like what Owen
It's not
Owen?
slow. It's a bit faster than
Oh, it's
contemporary,
about.
but yeah.
Oh, cool. Interesting. I mean, this is all new to me. I guess my bones are too old to move. But anyway, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. The other thing I noticed that you have in common is that both of you have lived on campus, right? But very different kind of housing, which I think our audience will be very interested to know. Okay, so please go ahead and share with us what living on campus is like.
For me, since I stayed in hall, I personally I chose it because it's more of a it's like a cheaper hostel stay experience, and
Mm.
I would say it was very fulfilling because I took a double room, so it's not like a room for yourself. I actually had a roommate
Oh, you had
in my
roommate.
first year.
Ah,
Yes,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, since I also like accustomed from army to have a bunkmate, so I felt more at ease if I had a roommate with me to talk at night and so on. And so the friends I
Yeah,
made in
that's
hall
good.
are still my friends now. Lah. Like we're very close as a batch.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, and because okay, I'm talking based on Yusof Hall, but since it's based on its location, it's very convenient because Cambridge bus terminal is actually right there.
Ah,
So
okay.
there was this experience where in year one we had an exam on Saturday, and there was a really big rain as well, and
Ah.
so there was a lot of jam going to the examination venue, and but because that I stayed at the bus terminal itself, it's very easy for me to board the bus and for me to get to the venue on time. And so to me that was like a blessing to be able to stay in on campus. And we have
Mm-hmm,
this
mm-hmm.
location right outside Yusof Hall, which called Supper Stretch. It's like
Uh-huh.
a long stretch of restaurants or eateries lah, where most of us most of us in my batch or after CCA we will go down there right after training or after practice for our performance, and then we will just go there and catch up and talk and eat together, and then we go back together. So I think it's a really good bonding experience that you may not experience without staying on campus.
Excellent, excellent. Tia, what about you? You stayed at this place called Lighthouse. Tell us your experience, please.
Correct. So Lighthouse is one of the three houses in the PGPR complex, and house is a little bit different from hall, wherein in hall sometimes you have to participate in quite a bit of extracurricular activities, but being in a house, you don't have to take on that additional pressure of extracurricular activities. However, there are still a wide variety of extracurricular activities that you can take part of. So I also continue my dance in Lighthouse itself
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
because we do have dance, we have singing, we have theater. So we have the same
Wow.
activities as hall does. However, you can participate whenever you want. So I appreciate that flexibility in house. And there's also no meal plan in houses. So
Oh,
you
okay.
can buy your meals from the canteens and the restaurants that are provided in the PGPR complex. So it's more flexible, and that's the kind of flexibility that I was looking for when choosing Lighthouse.
Excellent. So that's quite different from Yusof, right? Which is one of six halls of residence. Yeah. Wow, cool. So really very different. So I hope our audience has paid attention because I think they might be interested in that. And they both have their strengths, right? Um, right. Okay. Moving on quickly. Um, Tell us about I see that both of you have a heart for giving back to society, right? Or when you mentioned volunteering at mines, okay? And Tia, you do pro bono consulting. So maybe I'll invite Tia to speak first. What has your experience been? Yeah.
Yeah, so in the organization that I'm currently in, which is 180 Degrees Consulting, what we do is, we have the big four consulting firms that consult with companies, but there are still nonprofit organizations and social enterprises that can't afford the same consulting fees. So we as a student pro bono consulting group work with these clients and we understand their problems and the issues that they face to scale their organizations and help a broader community. And after we understand their problems, we work on a project from 4 to 5 months to
Mm-hmm.
really analyze their problem, provide recommendations to solve their problem, and then help implement them. So the client that we're currently working with is a nonprofit organization in Malaysia, which is focused on sustainability development and
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
a zero waste campaign. So we're currently working with them so they can broaden their reach in Malaysia and help more people understand what zero waste is about and increase their sustainability efforts.
As for me, so Yusof Mines is actually partnered with one of the many mines clinics in Singapore, and
Mm-hmm.
we go to the Clementi outlet. And
Mm-hmm.
based on my interaction with all the clients there, is I realized that a lot of them have different ways of expressing themselves that
Okay.
it takes a while for us to understand. And after a while,
Oh.
they might be a bit averse to meeting new faces, but once you go there multiple times, they start to warm up to you. And to me, it feels very good whenever I reach, and then they just jump out of their seats and very excited to see me. And to me, it's a very fulfilling experience as I didn't really have this kind of experience before coming to uni. And when meeting them, I'm able to better understand their needs and what's it like to like for their family. At least for their family is a good place for them to have their kids there, and we have volunteers over there to interact with them and play with them so that they're not so lonely. And we actually organize activities like for Christmas, we'll make Christmas
Oh.
like we have performances that we invite Yusof band over actually to perform for us. Or when
Oh, okay.
sometimes we invite them over to NUS, so we give them a tour around U Town, and then we also have like our band perform there for them to see, and they're always having a good time. So to me, it's very
Oh,
fulfilling.
wow.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. And what's the age group of the people that mines?
It's a
Young
quite a big
children?
range. They don't
Okay.
have a limit. So there's some quite
Oh, I
young and
see.
some relatively older.
Okay, okay. Just in case people in the audience don't know, Minds is caters to people with intellectual disabilities, right? Some kind of intellectual impairment and so on. So it's very fulfilling that they can come out of their regular environment, visit you guys, and then see life outside as well. I think that's really great. Um, so our clock is running out, but I think in the final couple of minutes, uh, why don't you guys share um, something that will help the prospective students here in the audience, right? So think about when you were applying, okay, back, X years ago. I know both of you came at different times. So back when you just finished your high school and applying to NUS, what were some of your queries or what you wish you had known then and so on? Something to help our students here. Yeah, go ahead, anyone. Tia?
Yeah. I think when I was first applying to NUS and when I first came here, I think I had like two concerns mainly. The first was if I'd be able to find the right group of people to connect with. And I think
Mm,
that once I came to NUS, I realized that there are so many different types of activities that you can get involved in to really find the people that you can connect with. And
mm.
there's definitely a space for everyone, no matter where you come from, especially because I'm an international student. I definitely found
Ah,
my place here in NUS. And secondly, I'd say that I was quite scared that I might not like what I'm studying at first.
mm,
But I realized that on coming here, at first I was in electrical engineering, but then I quite
mm,
didn't like it. So I switched to a different type of engineering.
mm,
So
mm, mm.
I'd like to say that NUS does offer that flexibility. So you don't have to be scared about if you don't like what you're studying and if it doesn't work for you, because there's a lot of flexibility allowed in exploring different options. So yeah, those would be my two main tips of advice.
Very good, very good. Because we have quite a number of international students in our audience today. So happy that you shared that. What about you, Owen? What were your concerns when you were applying?
I actually had similar concerns as Tia about like whether I will have a group of friends that follow me, because if, back in like junior college or in secondary school, we'll be with the same class of people all the way. So you tend to
Mm,
have a group of friends with you to study together and so on. So, but when you come to uni, you take different modules, you might meet different people
yep,
for each
yep.
module. So that might be like scary for you as if you're like introvert like me. I was quite introverted. So
but you
when
have a
I went
roommate.
in, I might be a bit scared to talk to new people.
Okay.
But so I essentially forced myself to attend as many orientation camps as possible. So I took part in science camp, I took part in arts camp, I took part in sports camp to just meet as many people as possible and basically step out of my comfort zone. And up till now, I'm still quite close to all my orientation groupmates, as well as from like my orientation in hall as well.
Great.
Yeah. So with that, I know we're not fully sure about what uni life will be like or what's the structure of academics and everything. But when you have a group of friends with you, you can share your information. So some might find out other things that I couldn't find out by myself. And when we come together, we can again give each other advice on whether maybe this course might not be for me. What can I do? Oh, I can still change course until year two. So some of the things that I would not know without talking to my friends. And so I'm very grateful for all these orientation camps that's actually organized by students. And
yeah,
so
that's an
grateful for
amazing
that.
thing. Yeah.
And
really.
so eventually, yeah, I also gave back by being a OGL or orientation group leader as I went on to year two.
Yeah. It's you guys, make life so interesting. I think I want to come back as an undergrad again, No, there was a quick question. Let me just end with that. There was a question about, is there a lot of pressure, right? So talk to our audience about the kind of pressure you face. Anyone?
I'd say that the pressure that you face also comes from yourself and your priorities. So if your priority is to excel in academics, you should know that. I wouldn't say that there's external pressure that the professors or any other friends are putting on you. I think when you come into uni, you should just try to figure out what your priorities are, and if that's dance and if that's academics, and then just place your attention on where your priorities are. And everyone's priorities are different, so there's no need for any comparison when it comes to that. Yeah.
That's very good advice. What about you, Owen? What advice?
As I also think pressure could be a self-imposed kind of thing. And to me personally, after experiencing NUS for 3 years, I realized actually it's very, very difficult to not do well. As in, only usually I see those that don't really do as well is those that really don't put as much effort. If you were to just attend classes and not just rely on online content, you usually do quite well. And basically, the community here is very supportive. If you ever have any issues, you can always bring up the professors who are quite open to help you, to be helping you. You can even arrange consults and go in together with your friends. So the community here, I think, is very supportive. So as long as you're not alone, like what I said, you attend many camps as you can, make friends. They will support you all the way, and you will not have to face all this stress alone because everybody is in the same school, experiencing the same experiences as you. Yeah.
Great. Thank you both for sharing. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. 1 hour has flown by, and we actually managed to answer all the questions typed in the Q&A, which is very, very impressive. But I'm sure in the audience, there might be some questions that you couldn't even ask because of time limitation. No fret, don't fret, okay? Because this open house is throughout the week. So feel free to attend some of these things. And ongoing, we have this live chat with our student ambassadors right until tonight. So I think you can go online and ask your questions. So with that, I just want to thank Owen and Tia for joining me today. Over to you, Yuejia.
Thank you, Prof. Sim, Owen, and Tia, for sharing your experience, insights, and sound advice. I hope they have managed to answer your questions and clarify your doubts. With that, we have come to the end of this session. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that this webinar has been helpful. If you have any further questions, please send them through our FAQ web portal, where can be found in the chat box shortly. We understand that most of you have signed up for an array of open house events lined up for the day and the rest of the week, and hope that you will have a fruitful time ahead. Do visit us at our admissions booth on Saturday, 8 March, if you wish to speak with an admissions officer or chat with our student ambassadors. A wide range of talks and activities await too. Find out more information via the links and QR code provided. We look forward to seeing you on campus. Tia will also be helping out on the day, so catch her in person at our booth. We also greatly appreciate if you could take a few minutes to fill out a feedback form. You may scan the QR code or access the link that we have shared on the chatbot. Your feedback is important to us. Please let us know how we can improve. Thank you once again. My colleagues and I look forward to receiving your applications and warmly welcoming you to NUS. Have a great day ahead.